When you get out of a toxic relationship, especially with a narcissist or a psychopath, Machiavellian, it can often become a lot worse, and you feel so totally disoriented and confused because you thought that when you got out that you would start to live again. And instead, you're faced with this sort of existential dread. You don't know who you are anymore. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust what actually has happened and your memory of things. You're not in contact with yourself anymore. And you're confused because you still have feelings for your ex, for the abuser. And it's really hard to reconcile these contrasting versions of what's happened. You think you have proof that he or she loved you because of what they did, the beautiful moments, ecstatic moments, periods. But then you also know how they intentionally hurt you and destroyed you. And how do you get those two together? In your mind, most probably, you try to paint up the good times as the real person. And then the sort of negative, hard, excruciatingly painful periods and moments, that they were just because of different circumstances or some old trauma that they had. And you don't realize that the good times, especially in the beginning, it was all part of a bigger plan, a scheme that they had. That's not who they are. That's an act. That's the mask. Being in a toxic relationship like that, your focus is so much on the other person. You're scanning for some type of understanding of what's going to happen next. Are they going to be nice? Are they going to be mean? Maybe even violent? And you try to keep safe and you try to keep them calm and happy. So you forget about yourself. Even the times when you want to express your feelings, your desires, your preferences, what you like, that is being pushed down consistently over time. You're made to doubt your own feelings, your sense of reality, your memories, your sense of self, the gaslighting, and you second guess yourself. And all your focus is towards the abuser. So when you get out, either if they left you or you left them, you are left on your own with all that wreckage that's been left behind. And it's very hard, extremely hard, almost impossible to do it completely by yourself. It's easy to get into these confusing loops in your head because you've been so conditioned by them to think certain thoughts, to think negatively about yourself, to think that you're not good enough, or you're not intelligent enough, or you're not strong enough, that you're too sensitive, or that you're too, maybe even narcissistic, they might have called you. And you doubt your own motives, and you doubt just about everything. And when you look back at the relationship to try to make sense of it, what actually happened, what took place, you are not left with just merely the pain, the sadness, the disappointment of a relationship that didn't work. You know, a normal relationship that finishes. There is that pain. But what is mainly, or what is hugely different in a narcissistic or psychopathic relationship is that what you thought was real in the relationship, none of it was real. You thought they loved you, that they cared, that they were a certain way. No, it was never like that. And that is hard to come to terms with, hard to understand, and hard to reconcile these contrasting beliefs as well, these experiences of the best times and the worst times. How you thought that the intensity was actually intimacy. It was not. How you thought that those wonderful gestures and those beautiful moments were love. They weren't. And that's hard to understand, how someone can be so selfish, to mildly put, and sometimes evil. Like some of them intentionally really want to make you suffer. They want to hurt you. Some have those sadistic tendencies, the malignant ones. The other things that are not so commonly talked about, the aftermath of narcissistic psychopathic abuse, is that you will not be understood by people that have not themselves experienced it, or that have studied extensively over time, like a profession, as a psychologist, a therapist. And especially if they haven't studied different types of narcissism. Because if a therapist only knows about the classic grandiose overt narcissist, and you've been together with the covert one, they might not understand you. And so when you try to talk with people about what you've experienced, they don't understand you. If you share some instances, they might not look that bad. But when you put them all together, it is a whole system in place. A whole system there to control you, to put you down, and to rob you of all things beautiful, pure, honest, of your light. Because they feel so hollow and empty inside that they want to take all of your good stuff and embody that. And then they take all their shitty sides and qualities, things that they have done, and put that onto you. Yes, sometimes they will even, as in literally, not just try to take on those qualities, but they will say that they have done things that you've done. They will say that you have done bad things that they have done. They completely twist the narrative. And what you can expect as well is that the narcissist, the psychopath, has already calculated that you might leave. Or of course, if they left, they knew what they were doing and they prepared. So when you go out trying to tell someone about what happened, most likely they've already heard their version first and they get suspicious of you. And that's excruciating. Something that is even less talked about is the fact that you don't get any help. You don't get any real help from society. When we talk about if you need to go into legal battle with a narcissist, psychopath, Machiavellian, the system is not prepared. They don't know enough. Judges, lawyers, police, social services, many therapists and psychologists, they do not know what they are capable of, what they do, and they get completely tricked and manipulated by them as well. So what they thought that they were helping and protecting, it's completely twisted. A lot of the times, these dark individuals manage to convince judges and lawyers and social workers and therapists that they are the poor victim and you are the perpetrator or the completely crazy, unstable one. They have so many different techniques and tactics in their toolbox. And remember, they've been practicing, if not for a lifetime, at least since their teens, most likely. And they've been practicing this for a long time. It's not hard for them. It's not hard work. This is fun for them. Because many of them, they use the courtroom as this stage where they can perform. And even if it wouldn't be better for themselves, like economically, for instance, to finish a case early, they won't do it. They love to drag it out and see you suffer, see you in financial and emotional difficulty. They love that game. So they will complicate things, drag out and just add so many more extra stuff to create confusion in any legal case. And they will manipulate anyone around them. And often they're very good at it. And so if the people involved are not prepared, have not studied, they often fall for it. And then, yet again, you do not get the help, the understanding that you need. So the narcissist, the psychopath, they have isolated you in the relationship. That's what they do, because then they get more control over you. So when you get out and you try to rebuild your life, when you go out talking to people, most of the time, unless there's someone that really understands you, that have been through something similar, they don't get it. You might even get the victim blamed. Not intentionally, but like, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you tell me sooner? You should have left sooner. Why didn't you report it? Or you should have done it this way. Or are you sure you remember things rightly? These type of things are very common. And then by the system, you try to get help, maybe through filing a police report and getting help, trying to get help from social services, in a divorce, custody, whatever it is. No. Most of the time, you don't get help. Unfortunately, that's the fact today. The system is not there to support victims, especially not female victims. That's the harsh truth. And I really want to do something about it. I've lived it myself, and I know countless others that have lived it. That's why I wrote the book, Narcissism and the Law. A practical guide for navigating complex legal cases for professionals, practitioners, and victims of narcissistic, psychopathic, Machiavellian, malignant sadistic abuse. So if you are in a legal battle, I warmly recommend to read this book. And if you are working with legal cases in any form, if you're working in social services and you work with legal cases like family law, you're a lawyer, you're a police officer, you're a judge, you're a therapist that work within the legal system, I can warmly recommend to read this book. As when it comes to the healing part, it's crucial that you get help, that you get guidance, and preferably a community where you can talk freely and openly, where people understand you. You are not alone in this. We are so many people, too many in the world, that have experienced these types of, it's not just abuse, it's hard to describe it. It's like the alchemy of the devil, so to speak. Is like they take everything beautiful and turn it into dust, to darkness, to filth. They strip you away of your light, of your authenticity, of your trust in yourself, your self-worth. And they leave you hollow, broken, confused, with no sense of self or sense of reality. This is torture. This is advanced torture, what we're talking about here. And it should be looked at it that way. This is not something easy that you've been through. It's not just like, oh, it was just a bad relationship that ended. No. You have been through extreme trauma, and you need to treat it that way. It's like if you've had like a bypass operation, if you had some serious physical illness, you take time to heal. You get help. And you need to do that here as well, because otherwise you're going to live for the rest of your life still imprisoned by this toxic individual. So even if you physically left, your subconscious mind, your body is still wired as if they were around. And if you don't free the trauma that sits stored in your body, those beliefs that they have instilled in your subconscious mind, you're not free. And you deserve to be free. You deserve to get those shackles away, to break free, to not have that sick individual control you anymore. You deserve to be happy, peaceful, and free. To be your fully authentic, powerful, beautiful, blossoming self. To be the creator and the director of your life. It's fully possible to heal. I know it doesn't feel like it initially. It feels like it's impossible. And yes, many of you have tried talk therapy, which is great. It's great to understand what you've been through and great to get an overview. But, okay, first of all, it can actually create more damage if there's not a therapist that knows about narcissistic and psychopathic abuse fully. Secondly, if there is a good therapist that understands it, great. It has helped you a lot. But to really fully heal, you need to do it holistically. You need to include your body as well. You've got so much trauma stored physically, somatic practices, breathing, meditation, tapping, shaking. There's a lot of things that you can do, body scanning. There are numerous things that you can do. And also your subconscious mind to deprogram the crap that they put in there, to break free there as well. I do have a lot of programs that I offer. From small, short ones, from like just a week, that focuses on specific aspects of healing from narcissistic abuse. But I also have a complete program, the 16-week Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program, that goes through all of these aspects, everything of it. It hits every single part that you need to work on. And we do it together in a group. We start at the same time, all together, with people that have experienced similar things. So we can share things with one another. We can give and receive support. And that is so valuable. And we do the physical exercises, the meditations, we do the workbook exercises, we get the theoretical things, we have Q&A sessions. That is extremely powerful. So I recommend that you go to my website and have a look at the next starting date with the live group. And if you don't feel ready for that yet, fine. There's also some simpler, less time-consuming, less costly programs as well. We even have free versions. We have a free membership as well that you're welcome to join. We have some tools. We have a resource library. We have weekly meetings there as well. And a lot of articles and information that is super helpful and useful. And then we have the membership program, the full access one, that is full of courses and programs and a lot more resources. So all the programs that we have and courses, they're available in a full access membership, apart from our in-person retreats and these live programs where we meet one-on-one weekly. We start and we finish at the same time as a group. Those are not included, but you find all the information on my website, theamieffect.com. And thank you so much for listening, for watching, and for caring about your health, about your well-being. It is time that you put yourself first. And all that love and that empathy that you had for that individual, turn that around towards yourself. Put yourself first. Be kind to yourself. And remember, this is very important. This is not because they've managed to break you. This is not because you are faulty in any way. We're just going to remove the toxic spell that they've put on you. We're going to remove those bad, negative beliefs that they put in your subconscious mind. We're going to remove the blockages in your body, because you, at your essence, you're perfect. There's nothing wrong with you at all. The opposite. You are fantastic, and you're so much more beautiful and powerful than you can possibly imagine. And that's what I want you to experience. I want you to know that person, your authentic self. I want to see you blossom and bloom. It's time. And no, it's not going to happen automatically. You need to put in the work, but it's so worth it. The alternative, what is that? Suffering for the rest of your life? You don't want that. You've suffered enough. So just put in a bit of extra work now, and you will notice a difference. I promise you. Lots of love. May you be happy, peaceful, and free.